Pretty standard starts right here. A lot of times you'll see. It used to be in the old 3v3, you'd see them go and they try and do a level 1 fight and catch someone off in the jungle, but now you kind of see people do a little bit more conservative where they wait in the base, get an extra health pot, because a lot of the action usually happens right about 2 to 3 minutes is when you're going to see that first gank somewhere. But yeah. So
I like the zombie brand. Oh,
yeah,
that's my favorite brand skin.
yeah.
So, props and a Yoshi.
Yeah, it's definitely one of my favorite skins in the whole game. I think just the where he's like running around with his going crazy. That's pretty fun. All right.
What do you think of the machete start in the jungle?
See, I think it's pretty interesting. It kind of takes away some of your early power if you want to invade, kind of thing, but it does make you clear a little bit faster. And I think with Kha'Zix too, he's obviously gonna turn that into like Spirit of the Elder Lizard or something.
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of a trade-off. You take a little bit of your early game pressure away, but he's already such a strong pick anyway, and it's gonna probably about the 8 to 10 minute mark when he actually gets that item, or maybe even sooner. You'll see him have a pretty big power spike. I like it though, honestly. If they play a little bit conservative, we also in the top lane was a little bit going on right there. Zen playing pretty aggressive.
Yeah.
He wants to. It's kind of weird too. The dynamic is you want to clear that first wave as fast as you can, and then also get one minion of the next wave because that's your level 2 right there. You want to do that before your opponent, just because it's pretty big if you can get an early advantage right there. Sometimes that can ultimately even decide the game.
Yeah, there's the level 2 aggression everywhere now, but failed gank top lane. Oh, here comes the invade.
Yep, they're gonna get the invade on Jarvan. Zen even putting pressure on Darius right there, making sure that he can't come help. They're really just trying to get them both really low. And Syndra coming rotating up too. Good rotation right there. And what's really good is if you push your lane early like that, you can see Bran, like he can't come help at all. Like he's been...
Oh, there we go. There's the first death.
Oh, buddy. Right in on Darius. I actually missed that there. Good catch there. And then Kha'Zix and Syndra both kind of rotating down, making sure Brand can't come up and do anything. And look at this. They're just kind of just... Oh, they're putting out some damage on Brand. And he's gonna...
better watch the isolation. That's just going to give him even more damage.
Oh, yeah. And Zen really low right here, but he's going to go ahead and walk back. They're going to try... This is just kind of... They're trying to get some early altar control, I think. Kind of zone out Jarvan.
It's 2 right now.
Mm-hmm.
Just a heal. So that's 2 summoners down versus just the ignite.
Yeah. Well, pretty interesting so far. Zen, both his summoners are down, so he has to play a little bit conservative, but he did pick up the first kill, so he has a little bit of an edge right now. But also, yeah, the only summoner up on purple side is just Brain's Flash, so pretty interesting. They go ahead and get double altars right here. And yeah. And it was pretty interesting too. Zayn actually just picked up a solo kill right there on Darius. Like Kha'Zix wasn't involved, didn't get an assist or anything. So he's a little bit behind on farm, but he does have double altars, and he's going in for an invade right now, which I think is pretty interesting. Maybe he's just trying to go for a gank. I think he wants to get vision on Jarvan, find out where he is. They throw a ping down on there.
Protecting him.
Yeah. And he's going to go back, but kind of there's not much he can entirely do. Syndra just absolutely dominating this lane right now. Brain doesn't want any part of that. Zen doing a really good job too. They get the pull, but not quite in turret range. And Kha'Zix is coming up. They do spot him in the bush right there. They're just going to throw a little bit of poke. Oh, they're going to go in on Kha'Zix. He does throws the EQ. Zin's coming in. They're going to try and get some damage out. And they do. They kind of turn it around. Jarvan's really low. Brand's coming in too to rotate, but Syndra's coming in right behind. They could turn this around and easily kill Brand. They don't want any part of this. Darius is the only one that could really do anything right there. And yeah, Jarvan just needs to go back.
And that Syndra's just destroying Brand in levels too.
Yeah.
And Brand lost all that EXP in tower.
Yeah, that was just kind of a bad spot to be in because he just lost a like he's just said she's already 2 levels up, doubling his farm already, which is pretty crazy at only 5 minutes in the game. And Kha'Zix is coming in. He's pretty low, but the isolation Q, he can go ahead and take one tower shot. But yeah, Zen coming in, counter jungling too. This is just not a lot of things are going wrong here for purple team.
The only good thing that's right for them is that Kha'Zix is only level 3 still, so he's putting a lot of pressure on the map though, and I think that's more important than his levels.
Yeah,
his lane is just dominating.
Yeah, absolutely. He's putting in, and the thing is too is like his jungle's safe. So if ever he needs to go back and actually just catch up in levels, he'll be able to just go back, clear his jungle real quick, and then go out and put some more pressure. And you have to think too, even though if he suffers from levels, if he's putting out pressure, he's also forcing that Jarvan to be a little bit behind in levels, and the laners too. Zen putting a lot of damage on Darius top. They're gonna try and go in on him. They get the knock up and the pull, and I think he's just gonna go for Darius right here. He should be able to.
Oh, that exhaust.
Yeah. Clutch exhaust right there. And just like that, it's 1-1. Syndra's still doing tons of work right there. Brand is just he's losing a whole other wave right to the tower again. So how far is he? He's not. I mean, he's about 3/4 to level 5, and Syndra's, you know,
Syndra's doubling his CS.
Oh yeah,
really
yeah,
bad.
yeah. That's pretty crazy so far. Just like that, see Kha'Zix is coming back here, getting a little extra XP, catching up in levels. Jarvan is one, but Syndra and Zen are just so far ahead that I think he'll be able to catch up no problem. Let's take a look at the gold. Everyone's sitting on.
Zinjao just picked up the Tiamat, so let him push even faster.
Yeah, and that's kind of one of the things you want to do with in threes too. Is once you get an advantage, like people that can push their lanes and keep them pushed have more vision because you can have more pressure in the enemy jungle. So you always want to keep your lanes pushed, which is kind of something that you don't necessarily want to do in Summoner's Rift. There's a lot of like freezing the lanes, but here it's just you want to go all out kind of thing. And it looks like they're going to try and close in on Jarvan right here. Darius is pretty slow to rotate. Syndra's coming around. They looks like they want to get some altar damage right here. Zen going really crazy. They use the ult. They get Zen trapped in there. Can Brand put out the damage? No, it doesn't look like it.
Survives.
And he gets the kill. And Darius still, I feel like he should have been down here about 15 seconds ago. Oh my gosh, Syndra hurts. And still Darius he sat up in the top lane the whole time. I feel like if he would have came down a little bit sooner and actually committed to it, they might have been able to turn something around, because you can see that
Zen was really low. I think he was down to the
so Zen and Syndra were pretty low, and then they get the first turret just at 8 minutes. So yeah, they're snowballing pretty hard right now. Syndra is just an absolute monster right now.
Yeah, being a Fed Syndra is really fun to play, but playing against it is absolutely terrible, because that one stun could lead you to your death.
Yeah.
With that combo.
Yeah. And I think she's rushing a Blackfire Torch too, which is even more trouble. If she gets one of those off and she doesn't even have to get like a full combo. If she does just one of those, then it gets pretty crazy. She could easily just solo this Brand, and I think she's still 2 levels up on him.
And Brand is not itemizing for the lane. He picked up the Seeker's Arm Guard, which, honestly, if he just gets harassed out, those Qs do a lot of damage.
Yeah, Jarvan taking a lot of damage.
Uh-oh.
They get a little bit of damage. Brand throws his ult. It's going to bounce between the two of them. Kha'Zix is going to be taken pretty low, but he'll be able to walk away from that. Jarvan gets to walk away. I think the rationale behind the Seeker's Arm Guard is he's trying to rush Wooglets. When you have Zen and Kha'Zix on the enemy team, a lot of die potential. If they get on Brand, he's pretty much going to die unless he has that Wooglet's Witch Cap. I think he's trying to rush that. He's kind of saying, I've already lost my lane, I need to prepare for the late game, but
he did overextend right there. So
yeah, too much right there, especially when he doesn't even have a turret too. He has to let that push past that mid brush and then some, just to even be safe farming right there. And
it's a 3k gold lead for the blue team right now.
Yeah, 3k, and just that's not even 10 minutes in yet, which is even scarier. And you can even see too, Kha'Zix is a little bit behind in farm compared to Jarvan kind of thing, but look how far his solo laners are ahead, and also Kha'Zix still has more gold. You have to think about the global, like all the altars and everything like that, and he does have a kill over an assist too. Still about even in levels with him, but it's better to at least be even than behind, I guess. And
Oh,
Syndra just stole someone. I didn't even see it. There are balls everywhere, though, so we can only assume that balls to the face is what happened there. And
it's just that one combo. She used
yeah,
the Blackfire Torch too, so it's just a lot of pain.
yeah.
Here comes the rotation top too. Now they're just gonna siege up because they have such good pressure because Syndra's stun is so long.
Oh yeah. And what is she? She's probably maxing Q first. Yeah, Q, and then she's gonna max her E second, which I think increases like the radius of it. I think.
It does, and it also decreases the cooldown, so you just have it up more often.
Yeah. And Jarvan's gonna go and try and save this turret, but honestly, I think they're just too far ahead right now. Kha'Zix
Yeah.
is taking a few shots, but they do get the turret down. Jarvan goes down, and Brand was just sitting at the bottom rotating. He needed to rotate it up a little bit before even being behind, because the 3 versus 2, even with a tower at this point, it's going to be even in their favor even more. And so, look, and just like this, I even said this the last game too. Just after you like win an objective or you win a team fight or something, like everyone just goes straight to the enemy jungle and just takes everything. Even though Jarvan still has a lot of farm comparatively to Kha'Zix, but pretty interesting so far. And Syndra's just, oh my gosh, so far ahead.
How do you stop that? Because there's no MR on the other team either.
Yeah, and it's weird too because you look at Jarvan and Darius's item. Darius rushed a, what is that? A chain vest, and Jarvan rushed Ninja Tabi, which I think is kind of an interesting choice. But with all the gold and all the damage on Syndra right now, I think they definitely need some MR and they need it quick. They're gonna go for an invade right here, but they're spotted out by Syndra, and she's just look at the stun. I think the Kha'Zix W had a little bit of damage too, but pretty much Syndra on her own just took Jarvan, their tanky jungler, to less than half health.
This level discrepancy is so high too.
Yeah, you can see Syndra level 10 over. Yeah, she's 3 levels up now. Xin level 11 compared to Darius level 8. I think really kind of the only saving grace that this team has is if they can somehow win a 3v3 under one of their towers. But Jarvan's about to get... Ooh, he puts the E down just to be safe right there.
Very smart.
Yeah,
that's the good thing about Jarvan in this, just because its just vision is so bad that flag helps out a ton.
Yeah, and he can actually go over a lot of the like terrain, a lot of terrain that you wouldn't think. He could go across this like mid part right here with it, with this thing, but it doesn't really help when you're getting pushed to your base tower already. And they're not even. They could try and make a play on Viamol right now, blue team, but they're already so far ahead that I don't think they want to risk it. And
I think it's just smart, just counter jungling and then just take their ulti right now.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that siege, too.
Oh my gosh, that's so much damage. Yeah, this is going to be pretty tough. And he's too far out. He's not in his turret range. Even with the ult down right there, Kha'Zix should be able to get out of that no problem. And, oh man.
This might be over before 20 minutes.
Yeah. And that's actually pretty typical for like a 3v3 game. If it's done right, which this is pretty much picture perfect so far. They only have 1 death on the blue team. Usually the games end really quickly. A lot of the challenger games, like if you look at any challenger team and look at some of their games, a lot of them are over before the 20-minute mark. Especially when they play, I don't want to say necessarily bad teams, but teams that are not at the same skill level, you know. Usually those can end between like, I don't know. I've seen it as early as like a 12-minute victory with those, which is pretty crazy. A lot of these challenger teams that play a lot, they play a lot of 3v3. They know what to do to end the game. So far, they're doing it. Syndra already 108 farms. Xin Zhao, though, 131. He's been a monster.
Yeah, and if he starts building tank just a little bit, they can start tower diving with it.
Yeah, he's sitting on 1900 right now. So we'll see what he picks up. I imagine he'd get at least an early brutalizer and then just go straight tank. Kha'Zix still getting a lot of damage. Syndra's just so much damage, and they're going to get this Viamol uncontested, which is just the gold lead pretty crazy right now. If you look at the gold differences, Zinjao's sitting on 21 right now. He could probably pick up the 2 parts to Randuin's if he wanted to. He'll probably finish his boots and get a brutalizer though, or something along those lines. But they have a lot of gold to spend. And
yeah, the philosophy is if you're ahead, build more damage because then you can just keep getting more ahead. And if you're behind, you need to start building tank to be useful for your team.
Yeah. Which is, and this is the scary thing too. If you look at Syndra's items, she's got double Doran's, Seeker's Arm Guard, and Blackfire Torch, and she's sitting on 600 gold. You look at Brand, he's got the double Doran's, doesn't have finished boots, and like he hasn't finished Wooglets or anything. Like, she's already an item and a half, or not like an item and a half head, but she already has an item and a half. He hasn't even finished his first one yet. That's pretty scary. I think Red Team in theory has like a really good team fighting team, but they're just pretty far behind right now. That
one Syndra stun does so much damage.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah, and they're trying to close in right here, force it back to the base. And that's kind of one of the scary things too, is when you're this far behind, going out alone is one of the most dangerous things you can do. You have to stick as a team and kind of hope for the best. But the level advantage, the gold advantage, I mean, you're looking at a few level 12s against a bunch of level 9s. This is not good.
This is not a safe thing to be under tower.
They needed. Look how fast that went down. Jarvan goes in. Brand's getting zoned out. He gets a lot of damage by Kha'Zix. They go ahead and just burst Jarvan straight out. 0-4. And that's probably going to be game right there. They should be able to get this inhibitor and the Nexus Tower if they really wanted to. Just one clean team fight like that. And
if you saw that Zinjao ult, it'd help him peel for Syndra.
Yeah.
So that was nice.
Yeah. Absolutely. But, whoo, buddy. That was a pretty crazy team fight there. And that was just really, I mean, it was just one team fight. They played this absolutely perfectly. They snowballed every advantage that they had throughout the game. And she's going to be able to solo that Brand right there. Get patting some kills right there. Jarvan's going to go down. And they're even going to kill Darius. All right. Another ace. And then one more auto attack. And then they're dead. All right. So that's